I am Jess and today is Top 5 Wednesday. Top 5 Wednesday is run by Ginger and Slenny, and I will link her channel and the Goodreads group in the description down below. This week's topic is top 5 favourite audiobooks, and I've not read a lot of audiobooks, but this topic gives me the perfect opportunity to talk about the one I am currently reading, my first ever audiobook sort of. And so I want to talk about first, I am changing the topic up a little bit. It is now, for me, because I've not read 5 audiobooks, top 5 books I think would be good audiobooks if I ever read them as an audiobook. So first I want to talk about the audiobook I'm reading. So first I want to talk about the audiobook that I'm currently reading, and that is Room by Emma Donoghue. I have to read this for one of my classes in university, and I'm so enjoying it so much. It's from the point of view of a 5-year-old boy who has lived his entire life in one room, and it's based on the kidnapping of the Fitzel case, where a woman was kept in a basement for 18 years, I want to say, and she gave birth to 7 children, 3 of which lived in the room and never went out of it. And it's told from a very limited perspective, and the audiobook has a full cast, and the main voice is of a 5-year-old, and the 5-year-old speaks the whole thing, and it makes it more horrific. Like, this book is already really horrific, and the audiobook makes it even more so. It's also very good at making you feel really claustrophobic in this one room, in the part that's in the room. And yeah, I'm just loving it so much, and I will do a full review of this when I've completed it, which should be in the next few days. So now let's get on to the list of books I think would be good audiobooks if I'd ever read them like that, but I haven't. So first I got Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro, and this is also a book that I read for uni and absolutely adored, and I just loved it so much, and it's told in a very way that seems like Kathy is telling someone her story. She's either being interviewed or telling it to her friend, and that's how I read it anyway, and that's how we spoke about it when we were speaking about it in class. And yeah, I just think it's very interview style-y, and it would work really well if she was actually telling it, which there is an audiobook, so it probably works well, but I'm not sure. And this one I have listened to, sort of, and that is the Song of Ice and Fire series. I started doing Feast for Crows with the audiobook as soon as I was struggling with it on reading it, and I was really enjoying the audiobook. It's just too long. Like, the audiobook is like 40 hours long, and yeah, I just can't do it. I just read it. I let the audiobook run for a few minutes every so often, but I don't read it. It's still on my currently reading shelf on Goodreads, but I've not read it for at least 5 or 6 months. So should I take it off? Probably, but I am being optimistic. I want to read it. Maybe during Christmas. Next is The Maze Runner by James Dashner. I think the dialects and the slang terms that Gladys use would be so good in an audiobook, and the movie did it really well, and I just think it would be a really good audiobook, and maybe, I don't know if there is an audiobook, I assume there is, but I think it would be good. Next is Shatter Me, because Juliet's voice is so prominent, and the change in her voice throughout the series is so prominent that I think having a real person speak it would make it even more prominent and make her transformation from the scared little girl in the first book to like this great woman that can stand on her own and do her own thing and make her own choices that might not be what other people want for her, and isn't always wanting to do what people want for her, and she's just a great character, and I think having someone speak that would be great. And last but not least is Percy Jackson, and I just think Percy is so funny that hearing him talk, all these jokes that he tells would just be so funny, and yeah, I'd really like that. I might listen to the audiobook at some point, but probably not, because I'm not a big audiobook reader. I think Room is probably going to be the first audiobook that I've ever really enjoyed. Like, I've listened to Song of Ice and Fire, but I'm not enjoying it. Like, I'd rather be reading it, but I just think Feast for Crows is quite a boring book, and that's why I'm not enjoying it. And yeah, so that was my Top 5 Wednesday. Comment down below and tell me if you've done a Top 5 Wednesday video and what your Top 5 audiobooks were, because I need more recommendations because I'm not skilled on audiobooks. So yeah, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.